For months I've been trapped in this one memory. Even for me, the details have grown fuzzy, but from what I recall, it goes like this. 6 in the morning, I awake to a strange knock at the door. The rhythm is recorded somewhere in my memory, somewhere in my bloodline that's been traced along the coastline. The tide coming in peels back my eyelids and I see last grandfather standing in his neon swim trunks, ready to take his sleepy grandkids for a morning swim. I remember being afraid of the water unless my opa dove in first. I was his last granddaughter, and I knew if there were sharks, he'd wrestle them until they suffocated. And when I jumped in, he'd be there to keep me afloat. He and I take the long way back, play hide and seek behind the coves. He points out all the boats or the seagulls. I don't quite remember the details, except the sky in his eyes is so big, it's like the world goes on forever. 17 years later, I know that isn't true. Last grandfather, how the time had weathered you. I can't remember the last time before I had to remind you who I was each time I saw you. Hi, Opa, it's me, your last granddaughter. Initially, you were open to the possibility. Oh, yeah? Your blue eyes smiled at my dark skin and nappy hair. The resemblance wasn't obvious, but you thought, why not? But as the years dragged on, my usual introduction grew unnecessary. I let you think I was the nurse's daughter, because somehow that made it easier. As you drifted out of lucidity, I watched other families visit their loved ones, the same individuals who are called demented and tucked away on the side of the highway. I know it's never simple, but maybe we're the ones with memory problems, how easily we forget what they taught us about holding up a family tree, how we dare call this quality time when what we knew before was the coastline. Last grandfather, it's midnight on the day you died, and I'm trying to figure out how to connect to you. I'd like to know what it was like to unremember, to forget every day what you did the day before. Did it matter as much to you as it did to us that we tried to make you recognize us, remind you of when you would take us swimming and make us see the water's not freezing, it's refreshing, the sand's not rocky, it's fantastic. I wish I remembered every little detail, like were they boats or were they seagulls? Was it morning or was it evening? I thought I knew, but now I'm not so sure. Of course, what's the point in trying to keep track of time anyway, when the memories of our bloodlines are constantly twisting and blending, fading without a cure? No, last grandfather, you taught me better than that. Today, I'll be on the coastline because the one thing I'll never forget is how to swim.